The Boys Coaches Award also goes to one of the Sunshine Boys who's been with us for 4 years, cross country and track. Actually, the only one in the program who's a senior who ran all 4 seasons in both sports. This guy, it was kind of a culture changer, and I don't mean that the programs were moribund in any particular context, but they were languishing a little bit when we showed up, and we had to get things fixed. And this guy made us concerned because we were afraid that he was too skinny and possibly didn't have what it took athletically to be an athlete. But we said, you know, it's cross country, let him stay out. Well, this guy ended up developing in one of the great track and field athletes that we've ever had. He finished 4th at the state cross country meet in the fall, running with the swine flu, and we had to literally sequester him away from the team and let him show up at the starting line. The gun went off, and he finished 4th, making the All-State for the 2nd year in a row in cross country. So he trains his rear end off all winter. In mid-February, he says, "Coach, my leg hurts." And I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Let's just go see Jay." And so Jay kind of pushed around on there, and Jay kind of looked at me like, "He's hurting pretty good, Coach." And so he ended up going and getting an x-ray done. We have a tibial stress fracture. And if you have a broken bone in your shin, you can't run. So here we are mid-February, and I say, well, you have 2 choices. Hang up the spikes, or we're going to try one thing, and that's go and swim until you drown 6 days a week until this thing gets better. Well, here we are, April 1st, and the guy hasn't run a step all season. And I say, well, I'm going to consult the orthopedic handbook on what to do here, and there's no chapter for how does guy train for state meet in 4 weeks on broken leg. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run every other day. If it hurts, I don't care. And I consulted orthopedic surgeons, and I talked to Jay, and said, yeah, it can't break worse. We're going to do it. So we went out and jogged 3 minutes, April the 1st. April the 1st, he jogs 3 minutes. And he says, "Coach, didn't feel that bad. 48 hours, we're going to try 6 minutes of jogging." So we end up jogging every other day. And we go to the regional meet on 13 days of running. And this guy qualifies for the state championships in the 2-mile and the mile. This ain't the 100, folks. It's 3 miles of racing in one day. It qualifies for the state meet in both events. So let's fast forward to the end of the meet. It's state. We have now trained a whole 18 days all season. And I walk up to him and I tell him, it's probably pretty unfair now I think about it, if you do not finish 2nd in the 1600, we do not win the state title. Do you understand me? And you know the funny thing about it is, the crazy son of me looked at me and goes, "Okay." And of course I had no idea how we were going to do it because he hadn't beaten the guy who finished 2nd in 2 years. And so he goes out there and runs literally semi-psychotically. And with 100 meters to go, comes off the turn with a 30-meter lead on 3rd place. And what happens next might be one of the most incredible things I think I've ever seen. With 30 meters to go, his legs give out, and he actually fell flat on his face in lane 1. You could hear 3,000 people just gasp all at once. And he gets up and looks at the finish line and starts staggering again and falls again and puts his hand down 10 meters before the finish line. Meanwhile, these 2 guys from Antonian are charging down because keep in mind, Antonian is in 2nd place in the team standing. And if they score enough points, they win the state championship. And this guy dives across the finish line in 2nd place. On 18 days of training, he takes the silver medal at the state championships. This guy exemplifies every single thing every coach should ever want in their athlete, which is unwavering belief in what you tell them, even if it's a bunch of crud. And then they go out and execute an unthinkable plan because they simply respect their teammates enough to realize they have a job to do and they get it done. Somebody said, "That's amazing what that kid did for you, Coach." I said, "That kid didn't run for me. He ran for these guys." That's what we want. He's made academic All-State every year he's been eligible. He has a 3.9 GPA. He's going to go and run track and field and cross country at Washington University next year. Elliott Petterson. The MVPs start with the girls.